Hi everyone, thank you very much for attending this webinar. This webinar is organized by two French organizations, the Platform of French NGOs for Palestine. We are a platform of 40 French organizations that work closely with Palestinian and international organizations to defend Palestinian rights according to international law. We worked on this webinar with Artisans du Monde. Aude, do you want to say a word about Artisans du Monde?
Oui, alors je vais parler en français si c'est OK,
Il
Marianne,
faut que
pour
tu
toi.
choisisses le canal français, s'il te plaît, Aude, dans l'interprétation.
OK, donc je suis sur le français, normalement.
Ok.
Voilà. Donc oui, bonjour. Donc moi je suis Aude Lorion de la Fédération Artisans du Monde. Donc Artisans du Monde, c'est le mouvement pionnier du commerce équitable en France depuis 1974. Et donc nous sommes une fédération d'une centaine d'associations locales réparties sur tout le territoire français de la France hexagonale. Ces associations locales, elles ont des boutiques pour la plupart qui sont tenues et gérées entièrement par des bénévoles. Donc, on a aussi un réseau d'environ 2500 bénévoles. Donc, voilà pour la présentation en très court. Merci.
Thank you very much, Aude. So the platform and Artisan du Monde were very happy for this webinar to invite our guests. First, I'm going to remind everyone of the theme for the webinar, and it is the economic asphyxiation of Palestine, but also, so we will be discussing the Palestinian economy as a means of oppression for the Palestinian people through many means put in place by the Israeli apartheid system, but also of how there are means of resistance within Palestinian economy and what kind of work Palestinians do to fight off the occupation, colonization, and apartheid imposed by Israel all over the Palestinian territory. So we are very happy in this webinar to welcome Wissam Ahmed. Wissam Ahmed is a researcher. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much. Wissam Ahmed, formerly of Al-Haq, which is the first Palestinian human rights organization, but unfortunately I had to resign due to the sanctions imposed upon the organization by the U.S. administration for their work on the International Criminal Court and the pursuit of accountability, which really undermines the work towards accountability in the international system. But these are part of the challenges that are faced. Myself now acting independently as a visiting researcher with International Institute for Social Studies through the Erasmus program in the Netherlands. And I'm a Palestinian human rights advocate focusing on the area of business and human rights for almost 20 years now. I guess I'll stop at my intro and allow others to introduce before we go into the presentation. Great.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Wissam. Hala and Dr. Muhammad, if you want to introduce yourselves, go ahead.
Uh, Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. This is Hala Hamza from Arif for Investment and Agricultural Marketing. I work in the Fair Trade and International Relations Department. I have been here for 3.5 years. And in this seminar, we will tell you about the work of our company in the agricultural sector and the positive impact that we have on farmers. And I have my colleague, Dr. Muhammad Hmidat here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mohammed Hmidat. I am the executive director or executive manager of Arif and also a quality assurance manager. I am working in Arif since 30 years. So from the starting of Arif. Also, I am teaching in two local universities here. I'm teaching in master program in sustainable agriculture and economy, and also I'm teaching in agronomist in Al-Quds Open University, and the master program in Al-Quds University. So this is the in brief about myself. Thank you for you to enable me to be with you in this webinar.
Thank you very much, everyone. Someone in the chat is asking if the webinar is being recorded. It is, and it might be broadcasted. We are not sure yet. So if you want to be kept up with all of the platform's information, you can go to our website and subscribe to our newsletter, where you will get news in French on Palestine, as well as any info on our activities and upcoming webinars. Thank you very much to all, and without further ado, I will let Wissam start our conversation.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you very much to the platform and Artisans du Monde for convening this important discussion. I want to begin with a simple but often obscured point that the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territory is not sustained by military force alone. It's sustained by an economic system that deliberately is designed to dispossess Palestinians while rendering Israeli settlements profitable, viable, and attractive for settlement and colonization. And I hope the translation picks up on the distinction between the settler and the colonizer, and the fact that this is best understood as a settler colonial project and not some temporary security arrangement. And it's the logic is not merely control, but replacement. And it's the transfer of land, water, and economic space from the indigenous Palestinian population to an illegal colonizer, the settler population. And this is achieved in a dual process, economically speaking. One is the economic strangulation of Palestinian life, and second is the economic stimulation of the settlement enterprise. So strangulation and stimulation. In the West Bank, including East Jerusalem in particular, the process is more incremental than the genocide we have seen play out in Gaza, but no less destructive. Palestinians face land confiscation, water theft, movement restrictions, and systematic attacks on agriculture, particularly olive cultivation, which is not only an economic activity, but a cultural and political one. And before I continue, I'd like to just share my screen to give you a historic reference to put the discussion in. And this is a document. I hope it's seen clearly enough on your screens. But this document I discovered during my archival research, and it's a document from 1925 written by David Levantin, who worked in the Anglo-Palestine Bank in the early part of the colonization of Palestine. And the importance of it is in the title. It's titled "The Colonization of Palestine: Means and Methods." And the key point that I want to highlight, it's a much longer document than what I'm putting forward here. But the question that's asked in this document, and this is a question that was asked over 100 years ago, is what medium should be employed to colonize a country on a large scale? Should it be done by philanthropy or treated as a business proposition along strict business lines? And that is the question that I think helped shape the development of the settler colonial project in Palestine, and where we see the business mindset drive the continuation of the colonization of Palestine. And I'll stop there with the sharing and continue here. And this is where the area of international trade is very important that I want to focus on, because it is the trade that allows the settlement enterprise to thrive. And a lot of research has been done on the trade with illegal settlements and how foreign states and corporations are not neutral actors. By allowing trade with settlements and settler-produced goods, they actively enable and subsidize the settlement economy. And every product exported from a settlement, whether it's agricultural goods, wines, cosmetics, industrial inputs, services, all of this translates into revenue, jobs, infrastructure, and growth for settlements built on stolen land. While settlements received direct Israeli government subsidies, benefit from cheap or confiscated land, preferential water access, operate within industrial zones built for settlers, and they don't face the restrictions that are imposed on Palestinian producers, as Al-Rif will lay out further on in the discussion. And so Palestinian producers face checkpoints, permit regimes, delays, leading to spoilage, a denial of access to market. And all of this creates this captive Palestinian market where Palestinian consumers are often forced by price and availability to not have alternatives to purchase. And this allows the settlements to continue to expand through this concept of economic absorptive capacity. And in simple terms, the absorptive capacity refers to the ability of an economy to absorb new population, investment, and labor without collapsing. And so Israel has deliberately engineered the settlement economy to have this high absorptive capacity. Settlements are subsidized to create jobs. Infrastructure through roads, housing, and utilities is developed. Industrial zones and agricultural enterprises are designed to all incorporate, while at the same time, the most important element to keep that viability is that international trade that ensures the demand beyond the local market. And this means that when new settlers move in, the economic conditions already exist to sustain them, while in contrast to the Palestinian economy, it's systematically denied from this absorptive capacity without any territorial continuity, without control over borders and trade policies, without reliable access to land or water, and the settler violence that we are seeing on a much more regular basis and higher scale today than ever before. And so this results in a structural displacement. Palestinians are economically pushed out while settlers are economically pulled in. And this is not accidental. It's a policy choice and one that is reinforced every time settlement goods enter the European market. And that's why things like the banning of settlement products is very important, not just for symbolic purposes, but it's structural. The idea of labeling is insufficient to put the onus on the consumer to make this decision. And it requires action by states to prevent these products from entering the market in the first place. And the basis is clear in the international law, where we have the International Court of Justice findings that clearly lay out the illegality of the occupation and the responsibility of states not to render aid or assistance to this illegal situation. And so continuing trade with settlements does exactly that. It it keeps those settlements viable. And in order to challenge this economic absorptive capacity and the viability of the settlement enterprise, we have to reduce that profitability of those settlements, undermine their economic absorptive capacity, and disincentivize the additional settler migration into the settlements. And all of this has tangible consequences. And this is the accountability dimension that I think is very important to push states to act on. But there's also another dimension of supporting Palestinian economic resistance. Palestinians are not passive victims of economic suffocation. Palestinian farmers, cooperatives continue to produce, often under extraordinary risk. And that's why it's social enterprise and fair trade initiatives like Al Reef become critically important. And so by supporting Palestinian producers, you're able to help Palestinians retain access to their land, you strengthen their local value chains, you increase their own economic resilience under occupation, and you directly counter the logic of de-development imposed by the occupation. And so fair trade is not charity in this context. It's a form of economic resistance, one that restores dignity, agency, and a degree of economic sovereignty, even under the conditions of structural domination that come with occupation. So, in conclusion, we're ultimately confronted with a choice between two economic pathways. An economy that rewards colonization, land theft, and apartheid through trade and investment, or an economy that upholds international law by withdrawing support from settlements while actively supporting Palestinian economic self-determination. And ending trade with settlements is just one important step in this choice that we need the international community to make. And that's really the rest comes on those that are engaged directly with governments, specifically in this context, the French, and their need to take the trade with settlements and the support of the illegal occupation and the continued colonization of Palestine seriously, and disincentivize and challenge that economic incentive structure that continues to perpetuate the colonization of Palestine. So I'll stop there and hand it over to my fellow panelists and look forward to continuing the discussion in the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wissam. That was greatly interesting. I will take this opportunity because you just mentioned similar things to mention our work on banning settlement products because I think it's an important resource for our audience member. So just letting everyone know that this has been a big part of the platform's work and the platform organization's work in the past few years. We have a lot of documentation on our website about it. We identified the ties of the major company Carrefour with the colonization of Palestine. I will also redirect our public to the Don't Buy into Occupation report that gets published every year at the end of every year. So the 2025 report is out. We have shared it with some explanations in French on our website. And this year it was found that among the 50 banks and investment funds that benefit the most from the colonization of Palestine, there were a lot of, maybe most of the major French banks. So I will just mention that and we will find a way to get these resources to you. But if you want to look into banning settlement products, please refer to our website. And I won't say anything about fair trade because I think Hala and Dr. Hamidat will do it much better than me. But please know that Artisan du Monde also sells the products of Palestinian land workers and artisans of all kinds. sorry for this little interruption, and I don't know if Hala, you want to go first or Dr. Mohammed
Yes.
Ahmedat.
Thank you very much, Layan, and thank you, Wissam, for your very important points that you discussed, and also for highlighting the importance of supporting the Palestinian economy and also supporting the boycott of the products of Israeli settlements. This is why the work of our company, Arif, is very important. First, I will give you a small introduction about Arif. Arif Fair Trade is a Palestinian private company. It is owned by an NGO, the Palestinian Agricultural Relief Committee, PARC, in Palestine. It was established in 1993 because PARC wanted to have a marketing arm that is able to conduct marketing activities with the Palestinian farmers because they wanted to find a way to support them in marketing their high quality agricultural products in international markets because they couldn't do that as an NGO, so they established Arif with that idea. And since then, Arif has been greatly contributing to supporting farmers in preparing their products for export. And since the beginning of Arif, the idea of fair trade and supporting these farmers in many different aspects has been there since the start. But slowly, as the work of Arif and the impact expanded, Arif wanted to consider the idea of getting a membership in the World Fair Trade Organization, and for over 5 years, Arif has been a member in WFTO, and of course, therefore, conducting all the fair trade principles in our work, including giving farmers fair prices for their products, ensuring that everything that the company does has a positive and social impact on everybody that benefits from this work. This work is very important. It's not just trade, it's political. It brings a deep message under the context that Palestinians live through because we are facing the continuous rise of Israeli settler colonialism. It's very important to continue supporting the farmers and cooperatives that we work with because they have great potential, but they work under great limitations. Uh, uh, Especially the Palestinian farmers in the rural areas, they face many restrictions because the villages are placed between the Israeli colonies who feed on Palestinian land, who keep expanding through more land theft, water theft, and control of all the Palestinian areas. So the farmers that we work with, of course, like all the other farmers in Palestine, suffer from the attacks of the Israeli colonists and the systemic targeting of their livelihoods, their lands. They're not only targeted by these colonists, of course, these attacks are also supported by the Israeli government itself and the extreme right-wing politicians that are every day saying racist things against Palestinians and encouraging the settlers to attack the Palestinian land. And besides just the physical threat that the farmers face, they face many economic restrictions, especially that Palestinians don't have control over their own water resources. So they have limitations related to having access to water. And also the ability to market their products. It's difficult for them to market their products in the Palestinian market because sometimes the Israeli settlements do a strategy of trying to drown Palestinian markets in with cheap products like the medjool dates that they produce in their colonies. So Palestinians would, of course, always go for the cheaper option, and this is why it's important for Arif give farmers fair prices, to encourage them to keep producing products, to sustain their livelihoods, to have more resilience on their land, to feel like they are benefiting economically and also socially from this work. So thankfully, because we have like partners all over the world in France, Italy, the US, many European countries, Japan and Australia, who import these products, we are able to support the farmers in sustaining this whole process. So this work is very important, and it's happening through fair trade. It's happening through this cycle that has been sustainable for over 30 years. So cooperatives and farmers feel encouraged to continue doing this work, to continue developing and also benefiting from fair trade by enhancing their local communities, the villages that they live in, despite all these limitations and restrictions that they are living through because of the Israeli occupation. So this work is very important, and it is happening through immense challenges, actually, especially on the reef, because our work involves many different aspects. We have to stay on the roads all the time. Our colleagues are always traveling between different cities and villages to make sure that we reach the farmers in these rural areas. So we face the Israeli checkpoints and the obstacles on the roads and the attacks of the settlers. So even the work of Arif has many challenges. Also, the fact that we have to use the Israeli airports, Israeli seaports, Israeli borders, everything that is controlled by the Israeli occupation and comes with the many restrictions and extreme checkpoints, let's say. They claim that it's for security reasons. The fact that we have to go through all these things, I think it's an act of resilience itself, and the fact that we can support the farmers in their resilience on their land is also an act of resistance for us, even as a trade company. So this work has a positive impact on everybody that is involved, and this is the main mission of our work. And I will let my colleague Dr. Mohammed talk more about the agricultural sector in Palestine and how it is influenced by the local context that we live through.
Thank you very much, Hala. And well, up to you, Dr. Mohammed.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Hala. I think you cover all the most important things. And thank you, Wissam, because you mentioned very important points. Let us start from the main or the core issues that our struggle here in Palestine is land and water. So land and water are the main resources for agriculture, and which give the people, especially farmers, the resilience in their lands and sustainability also. For that, our intervention as a reef, as marketing arm of PARC, which is the mother organization. PARC is the mother organization, also works with the farmers in the pre-harvest issues by supporting them by plantation, land reclamation, by building or opening agricultural roads to be able for the farmers to reach their lands and cultivate it. And many things. Also the water harvest from rain to use it for agriculture. So our rule as a reef to market the Palestinian product from the small scale farmers and from cooperatives, it is very important to give them more chance and more chance for sustainability, and to give them more resilience to stay in their land. Because if they get income from their land, they can stay and cultivate and stay in their land. What you see in the media now, the strong attack from the settlers on the farmers, on the lands, to let them or to push them to go away and to leave their lands without cultivation, which is the main core. It is the land now. We try to protect our farmers by give them some economy or economical aspects by marketing their products through international market. And our main market, as Hala mentioned, that in the fair trade movement, we export to different countries. And why fair trade and why we choose fair trade? First of all, it is our policy. Our policy is to transparency, give the farmers fair price, make their economy more stronger. So this is our main core of our main core of our work. The second thing, the production cost in Palestine is too high, especially in agriculture, because it is semi-manual or manual, and the input also is very high because all our inputs coming through Israel, and their economy is high, so the input for agriculture is high. So the production also, the labor and the manual cost is high. The fair trade movement or fair trade market give us to market the Palestinian products with a reasonable price, with a fair price that cover the production cost. So this is why we are focusing on a fair trade and a fair trade market. For sure, we have a lot of obstacles during our work. Maybe Hala mentioned part of them, starting from the farmer and the agriculture side until exporting our product, and our product reach our partner in the international market. So starting from the farmer, a lot of checkpoints, hundreds or thousands of checkpoints stop the movement of the goods, a lot of delay sometimes. Our partners asking, for example, to get the products before Christmas. Sometimes we late because we late in the production, we late in the securing the raw material. This is one thing. The other thing, our movement as a reef staff also, because our work with the farmers. So we need to visit them, to reach them, to supervise them, to give them some extension, some training about quality, and to check the quality, because we believe that our partner can support us and buy the products from Palestine, but we need also these products. We need to be sure that these products fit the international standards in the European countries or in the international countries. So we focus mainly also on equality. So we need to visit the farmers, supervise them, to pass through these checkpoints, sometimes through mountains. Sometimes we transfer the goods back to bike from car to car on the checkpoint to be able to transfer the goods in a shorter time. After that, in our facilities where we produce the products or packaging or production or filling, the workers or the people who work inside these facilities sometimes cannot reach these facilities. In Arif, we secure in each facility a place for sleeping for the workers, for the people or for the staff. So if the checkpoint closed on the city, they can sleep in the place of the work. If they cannot be able to go out, they cannot sleep in the work. We do this because to give some safety for these people, and also to secure the continuity of production, and to be able to stay in the work and to produce and to deliver the products in the time which we agreed with our partners. Also, another obstacles that many of inputs and raw materials, it's not allowed for us as Palestinian to import it or to use it or to buy it. I will give you a small example. In the date sector, before all the companies, all the packing house, they use some fumigation material to kill the insects from the date, because it's agriculture. Now it is forbidden, or it is difficult for Palestinian to buy it. So how we can produce the date with high quality? In Arif, we design a small heat treatment unit to treat the dates by heat, and then do what we call it inequality quenching. We send it directly after heating to deep freezing -18 degrees, so to be able to kill all the insects and the eggs of the insects, and to protect the quality of the date. So this is some manipulation of our work to be able to produce in a good quality and to meet the international standard. After production, so after production, we have another issue in the exporting. There are a lot of restriction in the exportation, starting from our warehouse. It is not allowed for us to bring the container. It is not allowed for us to bring the container to our warehouse and to stuff the goods inside it. We should stuff the goods on a pallet with the maximum height 160 centimeter only, while the container height is 230. So we lose half of the container empty. We pay double for exportation. We pay double for insurance and for land transportation and for everything. So this is one point. The second point, after loading the goods, we need to wait maybe 1 week, 10 days or more, waiting the approval of uploading these products. So we should bring Palestinian plate truck to our warehouse to load the product on the Palestinian truck with these pallets, and send it few kilometers near Ramallah in a commercial checkpoint. So in that commercial checkpoint, all the product should be checked or download from the Palestinian truck, checked by security people in the checkpoint, and then upload in another truck, Israeli truck, goes to the overseas, then to all these steps need a lot of overcost. Let me say overcost. Until the product go inside the container in the port and go outside. So all these obstacles, but we still try to survive. For sure, the product when the product reach our partner outside, it reach with high cost. So this is the real fact, because of all these extra costs we pay during the production, from the starting point until exportation. So this is mainly the how we sustain, how we resist and give ourselves and our farmers and producers some energy to continue and to go ahead. And marketing of these products is the main important, the most important thing for these farmers. If they get some income back from these products, they will continue cultivation, they will continue working and resist in their land. Maybe last thing I want to, maybe I took long time, but the last thing, we have another thing from the farmer side. We have for women also cooperative we are producing also handmade couscous, for example. So this is for consuming wheat from farmers, and also job creation for the woman, for the old woman who producing this handmade couscous. And there are, I don't know if we mention hala, the product, we focus also in environment. We have now three main products are certified organic. So the majul date, we have farms certified organic and produced and exported to the EU countries as organic certified. We have the olive oil certified organic for both European countries and also for United States. We call it NOP. And we have the handmade couscous. Also, it is certified organic. So these are the three products are certified organic, which is our policy to make some shift and change in the agricultural practices to move from conventional and cultivation to organic, or agriculture to organic agriculture, to protect the land and also the environment and the underground water.
If you want to learn more about Palestinian organizations and how you can get Palestinian products, Artisans du Monde has shops all over France where you can find Palestinian products, from olive oil to dates to artisanal work. I'm not sure how it's pronounced in English. And maybe Odd will want to say something about this. And about Gaza specifically and agricultural workers in Gaza. I will urge people to read some resources on ecocide. As I said, Forensic Architecture did a very comprehensive mapping of Gaza's ecocide, which proves the ecocide in Gaza, or at least provides proof towards this thesis. There is also a member organization of the platform, Union Juive Française pour la Paix, that works directly with agricultural workers in Gaza. They were supporting them for years. And one of them, Abu Amir, I think his name is, they post his testimony of life in Gaza pretty much every week. So if you want to know how the daily life of agricultural workers in Gaza was and has become since the genocide started, and is still ongoing, I will mention, please refer back to the Union Juive Française pour la Paix's website, which is very interesting on that. I could give you so many other resources, but I think starting with the organizations present in this panel is already a lot. We mentioned Al Rif, of course. Thank you very much for attending, Hala, and Muhammad Hamidat, who had to leave early, and also Wissam Ahmed's research work, as well as, I will say, because you mentioned it, Al Haq's work, which is very important work that is also being targeted on defending Palestinian rights. And of course, Artisans du Monde and Plateforme Palestine. I think that's it. Does anyone want to add anything?
Just to say thank you again for the opportunity, and from the questions, it's clear that people understand the complexity of the challenges that are being faced. But I think there's a general pursuit that needs to be kept in mind, where you can take conscious decisions to divest from the occupation and ensure that the support is not feeding into fueling that settlement enterprise, while at the same time taking conscious steps to support and invest in Palestinian liberation. And those two lines of thought should be on your mind wherever you go, whether it's making consumer purchases or political choices at the ballot box during elections.
I also just want to thank you guys for arranging this webinar, and I want to thank all the attendees for their interest in the subject and for wanting to know more about the situation and the economy here in Palestine. Thank you very much, and also thank you, Wissam, for your very important points. Thank you, Layan and Aud, for coordinating this, and of course, it was an honor for us to be a part of this. And I'm really glad that the boycott movement is still ongoing, and I hope that everybody keeps pushing for this. And of course, in the end, the most important thing in Palestine is decolonization and just a free Palestine, so that we would stop depending on the occupation and having to use and having to have to go through all of these things because of the occupation. So, thank you very much.
Et merci encore, je vais rajouter aux remerciements, mais remercier la plateforme Palestine d'avoir donné l'opportunité aux acteurs de commerce équitable d'être mis en avant et de mettre en avant le côté militant aussi du commerce équitable et le fait que les achats de produits palestiniens sont vraiment un acte politique de résistance. Merci beaucoup.
Thanks to everyone. And as a last thank you, I want to thank our translator, Marianne. I hope we didn't tire you out too much. And thank you very much for everyone for attending. As I said, we will be sending resources by email, so no worries. We will be sending links to everything. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.